Their golden years are gone. With rising rent and inflation, more senior citizens here in Central Florida say they are struggling just to keep a roof over their heads.
In the richest country on earth, something unthinkable is happening. More and more seniors are losing their homes and moving into vehicles just to survive. Rising rents, crushing medical bills, broken retirement systems. In 2026, America's elderly are becoming its fastest-growing homeless population. This is the gray wave, and it's only beginning. Across the United States, a silent crisis is growing among older Americans. Experts now call it the gray wave, a surge in elderly people falling into homelessness for the first time in their lives. In 2026, more than 58 million Americans are over the age of 65, and that number is growing every year as baby boomers continue to age. At the same time, housing costs have reached record levels. The national median rent has passed $1,950 per month, while many seniors live on less than $1,600 per month in retirement income. For decades, older Americans believed that Social Security, savings, and home ownership would protect them. But rising property taxes, insurance premiums, and maintenance costs are forcing many seniors to sell their homes. Once they sell, they often cannot afford to re-enter the housing market. According to recent housing surveys, nearly 1 in 5 newly homeless individuals in 2025 to 2026 are over age 55, the fastest growing age group in the homeless population. Many of these seniors worked full-time for 40 years, raised families, and paid taxes. Yet today, they find themselves sleeping in RVs, vans, or parking lots. Unlike younger homeless populations, elderly individuals face declining health, limited job prospects, and reduced mobility. Once displaced, recovery becomes extremely difficult. The gray wave is not driven by addiction or crime. It is driven by economics. Inflation, rent, and healthcare costs have outpaced retirement income. As a result, thousands of seniors are joining America's homeless population every month, not because they failed, but because the system failed them. Social Security was designed to be a safety net, not a full retirement income. But in 2026, for millions of seniors, it has become their only income. The average Social Security benefit is about $1,850 per month, while nearly 40% of recipients depend on it for more than 90% of their income. In high-cost states like California, New York, and Florida, average rents now exceed $2,400 per month. This creates a devastating gap. Even seniors who receive above-average benefits cannot afford basic housing without additional savings. In many cities, a modest one-bedroom apartment now requires an income of $70,000 per year, far beyond what retirees earn. Section 8 housing assistance could help, but waiting lists often stretch 5 to 10 years, and many seniors die before receiving help. Rural areas are not immune. Mobile home parks, once affordable for retirees, are being bought by private equity firms that raise lot rents by 30% to 60% in just a few years. Seniors who once paid $400 per month now face $900 or more, but impossible on fixed income. As rents rise, seniors are forced to choose between housing, medicine, and food. Surveys show that over 25% of elderly renters skip meals to pay rent. Others move into unsafe units, share overcrowded apartments, or buy old RVs as a last resort. Social Security has not kept pace with real living costs. Cost of living adjustments often lag behind inflation, leaving retirees poorer every year. What was once a reliable foundation has become dangerously insufficient. Living on a fixed income in 2026 means watching your purchasing power shrink every month. While inflation has slowed slightly since its peak, essential expenses continue to rise. Food prices have increased by more than 28% since 2020, utilities by 35%, and property insurance by over 40% in many states. For seniors, these increases are devastating. The average retired household spends nearly 60% of its income on basic necessities: housing, food, utilities, and transportation. That leaves little room for emergencies. A broken transmission, medical copay, or heating repair can erase months of savings instantly. Prescription drugs remain one of the biggest burdens. Even with Medicare, seniors spend an average of $1,200 to $2,000 per year out of pocket on medications. For those with chronic conditions, costs can exceed $4,000 annually. Many seniors quietly ration pills or skip refills to save money. Transportation costs are another hidden threat. Gas, insurance, and maintenance now average $500 to $700 per month for older drivers. Without a car, many cannot access doctors, food banks, or social services. Because their income is fixed, Seniors cannot work more hours to offset rising costs. Their financial flexibility disappears. Over time, small increases accumulate into disaster. A 5% rise here, a 7% rise there. And suddenly the budget no longer works. This slow financial erosion pushes many seniors toward homelessness. It does not happen overnight. It happens quietly, over years, until there is nowhere left to cut. Healthcare is one of the main reasons elderly Americans fall into homelessness. While Medicare covers many services, it does not cover everything. Seniors still pay for premiums, deductibles, copays, dental care, vision care, hearing aids, and long-term care. In 2026, the average senior spends more than $6,500 per year on healthcare-related expenses. Hospital stays are especially dangerous financially. A single hospitalization can result in bills exceeding $15,000. Even after insurance, rehabilitation services, home health care, and medical equipment often require additional out-of-pocket payments. Long-term care is the biggest financial threat. Assisted living costs average $4,500 per month, while nursing homes exceed $9,000 per month in many states. Medicare does not cover long-term care. Medicaid only helps after seniors exhaust most of their assets. As a result, many retirees drain their savings within just 2 to 3 years of serious illness. Once savings are gone, housing becomes unaffordable. Widowed seniors are especially vulnerable, as medical costs often spike after losing a spouse. Dental care is another overlooked issue. Medicare does not cover most dental services. A single root canal or denture set can cost $3,000 to $6,000, forcing seniors to choose between oral health and rent. Medical debt follows seniors into old age. More than 20% of Americans over 65 carry medical debt, according to Consumer Reports. For many, these bills are the final push into homelessness. Illness does not just damage health. In America's current system, it destroys financial security. For many elderly Americans, homelessness begins with one unexpected crisis. It could be a heart attack, a fall, a car accident, or the death of a spouse. Suddenly, income drops while expenses explode. In 2026, nearly 45% of seniors have less than $50,000 in total savings, and over 20% have under $10,000. When emergencies happen, these savings vanish quickly. Funeral costs alone average $7,000 to $12,000. Home repairs after storms or plumbing failures can cost thousands. Insurance rarely covers everything. Property taxes and insurance hikes also trigger displacement. In states like Florida and Texas, homeowner insurance premiums have doubled in 5 years. Seniors on fixed incomes cannot keep up. Many are forced to sell their homes at below-market prices. Once they sell, the money rarely lasts. Renting is more expensive than owning in many areas. Within 2 to 3 years, proceeds are gone. Without assets, seniors cannot qualify for loans or new housing. Foreclosure is rising among older homeowners. Data shows that foreclosures among borrowers over 60 increased by over 30% since 2022. Reverse mortgages, once marketed as safe solutions, have also led to displacement when taxes or insurance go unpaid. One emergency can unravel a lifetime of stability. After decades of work and sacrifice, seniors find themselves living in RVs, sleeping in cars, or moving between parking lots. Homelessness in old age is rarely caused by laziness. It is caused by fragility, when one shock breaks a system that no longer protects its most vulnerable. For a growing number of elderly Americans, an RV is no longer a symbol of travel or retirement freedom. It has become their last form of shelter. In 2026, estimates suggest that more than 900,000 people nationwide are living in vehicles. Seniors now make up nearly 1/3 of that population. Used RV prices surged after the pandemic and remain high. A 20-year-old motorhome that once sold for $8,000 now often costs $18,000 to $25,000. Many seniors finance these vehicles with high-interest loans, locking themselves into new debt in their 60s and 70s. Living in an RV is not cheap. Monthly costs include fuel, insurance, repairs, registration, and campground fees. Even cheap RV parks now charge $600 to $1,200 per month, while urban lots can exceed $1,500. Seniors who cannot afford parks are forced onto streets and industrial zones. Maintenance is another burden. Roof leaks, electrical failures, and plumbing problems are common in older rigs. Repairs often cost thousands. Without savings, seniors resort to unsafe DIY fixes, increasing fire and health risks. RVs offer mobility, but they also mean instability. One mechanical failure can leave a senior stranded and homeless overnight. What looks like shelter from the outside is often fragile, temporary, and dangerous. For many seniors, the RV is not a lifestyle choice. It is the final barrier between them and the sidewalk. These vehicles represent not freedom, but desperation in retirement. When seniors cannot afford RV parks, they move into informal survival zones, big box parking lots, warehouse districts, freeway underpasses, and abandoned industrial roads. These locations offer temporary safety from police and towing, but little else. In 2026, cities like Los Angeles, Phoenix, Las Vegas, and Seattle report thousands of vehicle dwellers living in rotating safe spots. Many seniors sleep with one eye open. Theft, vandalism, and harassment are common. Studies show that vehicle dwellers experience property crime at rates 3 times higher than housed residents. Basic hygiene becomes a daily struggle. Without regular access to bathrooms or showers, seniors rely on gas stations, gyms, or public parks. A Planet Fitness membership, often used for showers, costs $25 per month, a significant expense on fixed income. Food storage is limited. Without refrigeration, many rely on canned food, fast food, or food banks. As a result, malnutrition rates among homeless seniors are rising. Health surveys indicate that nearly 40% of elderly vehicle dwellers are food insecure. Weather adds another layer of danger. In summer, RV interiors can exceed 120 degrees Fahrenheit. In winter, broken heaters expose residents to hypothermia. Emergency services report increasing heat and cold-related deaths among elderly vehicle dwellers. Street survival is exhausting. It requires constant movement to avoid tickets, complaints, and towing. For seniors with arthritis, heart disease, or mobility issues, this daily stress accelerates physical decline. What should be peaceful retirement years become an endless battle for basic survival. As vehicle homelessness grows, cities are responding with stricter enforcement rather than housing solutions. In 2026, more than 150 major U.S. cities have expanded anti-vehicle camping laws, overnight parking bans, and no habitation zones. These laws often prohibit sleeping in vehicles between certain hours or within designated areas. Violations result in fines ranging from $75 to $500 per ticket. For seniors living on $1,800 per month, even one citation can destroy their budget. Towing is the most devastating penalty. Tow fees average $300 to $600, plus daily storage costs of $50 to $100. Many seniors lose their RVs permanently because they cannot pay. Once the vehicle is gone, homelessness becomes absolute. Some cities operate safe parking programs, but capacity is limited. Nationwide, fewer than 12,000 safe parking spaces exist for hundreds of thousands of vehicle dwellers. Waiting lists are often months long. Police interactions also create fear and trauma. Many seniors report being woken up multiple times per night by officers or security guards. Chronic sleep deprivation worsens existing medical conditions. Local governments argue that enforcement protects neighborhoods. But critics point out that criminalizing homelessness only pushes seniors into more dangerous areas. Instead of stability, enforcement creates constant displacement. For elderly vehicle dwellers, city policies often feel like punishment for being poor, not solutions to being homeless. These laws transform survival into a crime, leaving vulnerable seniors with nowhere safe to go. Becoming homeless in old age causes severe psychological harm. Unlike younger populations, seniors have spent decades building identities as workers, parents, homeowners, and community members. Losing housing shatters that identity. Research shows that nearly 60% of homeless seniors suffer from depression, and over 40% report chronic anxiety. Rates of suicidal thoughts among homeless adults over 60 are more than double the national average. Isolation is one of the biggest factors. Many seniors living in RVs avoid social contact out of shame. They stop attending family gatherings, church services, and community events. Over time, social networks collapse. Cognitive decline is also accelerated by homelessness. Poor sleep, stress, malnutrition, and lack of medical follow-up increase dementia risk. Doctors report that homeless seniors develop memory problems 5 to 7 years earlier than housed peers. Grief is common. Many seniors lost spouses, friends, or siblings before becoming homeless. Without stable housing, there is little space to process loss. Emotional pain accumulates silently. Mental health services are difficult to access. Fewer than 20% of homeless seniors receive consistent counseling or psychiatric care. Transportation barriers and long waitlists limit treatment. The trauma of late-life homelessness is compounded by the fact that seniors never expected this outcome. After following all the rules, working hard, saving money, paying taxes, they find themselves abandoned. Late-life homelessness is not just a housing crisis. It is a mental health emergency unfolding in slow motion, largely invisible to the public. Living in aging RVs and vehicles exposes seniors to constant safety hazards. Fire is one of the biggest risks. Improvised heaters, propane stoves, and faulty wiring cause hundreds of vehicle fires each year. Fire departments report that vehicle dweller fires increased by over 35% since 2021. Carbon monoxide poisoning is another silent threat. Poor ventilation and malfunctioning. Generators can fill RVs with toxic gas. Dozens of deaths are reported annually, many involving elderly residents. Sanitation problems are widespread. Without proper waste disposal, sewage systems fail, black tanks leak. Mold grows rapidly in poorly ventilated spaces. Respiratory infections and skin conditions are common. Water access is unreliable. Many seniors ration water to save money, increasing dehydration risk. Dehydration contributes to kidney failure, falls, and confusion in older adults. Electrical systems in older RVs are often unsafe. Overloaded extension cords, damaged outlets, and outdated panels create shock hazards. Professional repairs can cost $2,000 to $5,000, far beyond most budgets. Security is another concern. Thin walls provide little protection against break-ins. Elderly vehicle dwellers are frequent targets for theft and assault. Victimization rates are significantly higher than among housed seniors. These living conditions would be unacceptable in any apartment complex. Yet for thousands of elderly Americans, they are now daily reality. The vehicles that were supposed to provide shelter are slowly becoming death traps, exposing vulnerable seniors to dangers that worsen with age. In 2026, retirement is no longer realistic for millions of Americans. Nearly 23% of people aged 65 to 74 are still working, the highest level in modern history. Among seniors experiencing housing insecurity, that number is even higher. Many elderly RV dwellers work low-wage, physically demanding jobs. Retail greeters, warehouse assistants, janitors, delivery drivers, and security guards. Average pay for these jobs ranges from $12 to $18 per hour, often without benefits. Even working 30 hours per week, most earn less than $1,800 per month after taxes. Health makes working difficult. Over 70% of adults over 65 have at least one chronic condition. Arthritis, diabetes, heart disease, and vision problems limit mobility and stamina. Yet many seniors push through. Pain because stopping work means losing shelter. Age discrimination remains widespread. Federal complaints related to age bias increased by over 25% since 2020. Employers are reluctant to hire older workers, forcing seniors into unstable gig work. Gig platforms offer flexibility, but little security. Delivery and rideshare drivers pay for fuel, insurance, and repairs themselves. After expenses, many seniors earn below minimum wage. For these workers, employment is not about fulfillment. It is about survival. Each missed shift threatens their ability to buy gas, food, or medicine. Retirement, once considered a reward for decades of labor, has become an unreachable luxury. Instead of enjoying golden years, seniors find themselves trapped in endless cycles of low-wage work just to maintain their RVs and basic necessities. Traditionally, family served as a safety net for aging parents. In 2026, that safety net is unraveling. Rising housing costs and student debt have left many adult children unable to help. More than 55% of Americans aged 25 to 45 now spend over 35% of their income on housing. Many live in small apartments with no space for elderly parents. Multi-generational housing is declining in high-cost urban areas. Younger families are also financially strained. Average student loan debt exceeds $38,000, while childcare costs surpass $14,000 per year in many states. Supporting aging parents becomes impossible. Geographic separation worsens the problem. Many seniors live hundreds of miles from their children due to job relocation. Without money for travel, families become disconnected. Emotional strain also plays a role. Long-term caregiving leads to burnout. Studies show that nearly 40% of family caregivers experience depression. Some relationships fracture under pressure. Immigrant and minority families, once more likely to provide housing support, are now facing similar financial barriers. Housing shortages affect all communities. As families struggle, seniors are left to navigate homelessness alone. This isolation deepens vulnerability. Without relatives to advocate, Many elderly RV dwellers fall through every social safety net. The breakdown of family support is not about lack of love. It is about lack of resources in an economy that is crushing every generation. Children want to help their parents, but simply cannot afford to do so while maintaining their own households. Elderly women face the highest risk of homelessness in America. In 2026, women over 65 represent nearly 60% of low-income seniors. Lifetime wage gaps, caregiving responsibilities, and longer life expectancy all contribute. On average, women receive 20% less Social Security income than men. Many spent years out of the workforce raising children or caring for relatives. Those years reduce their retirement benefits. Widowhood is a major trigger. Nearly 45% of women over 75 live alone. When spouses die, household income often drops by half. Medical and funeral costs further deplete savings. Older women are also more likely to suffer from osteoporosis, arthritis, and autoimmune diseases. These conditions limit employment options, yet they still face rising rents and healthcare bills. Domestic violence is another hidden factor. Some elderly women flee abusive partners late in life. Without income or housing, they end up in vehicles or shelters. Safety risks are severe. Homeless women experience assault and exploitation at much higher rates. Advocacy groups report that nearly 1 in 3 homeless elderly women has experienced physical or sexual violence. Despite these risks, housing programs rarely address gender-specific needs. Limited shelter space and unsafe environments push many women into RV living instead. For many elderly women, homelessness is the final chapter in a lifetime of economic disadvantage. After decades of underpaid work and unpaid caregiving, they find themselves vulnerable, alone, and without protection. Homelessness among seniors looks different in rural and urban America, but both are growing. In cities, high rents drive displacement. In rural areas, lack of housing and services create isolation. Urban rents now average over $2,200 per month in major metros. Seniors are priced out rapidly. Shelters are overcrowded, and waiting lists for subsidized housing exceed 3 years in many cities. Rural seniors face different barriers. Nearly 40% of rural counties have no affordable senior housing developments. Public transportation is limited or non-existent. Healthcare facilities are often hours away. Internet access is another challenge. Many assistance programs require online applications. In rural areas, over 25% of seniors lack reliable broadband, preventing access to benefits. Rural homelessness is often hidden. Seniors live in abandoned trailers, sheds, or vehicles on private land. Without visibility, they receive little public attention or funding. Natural disasters hit rural seniors hard. Floods, wildfires, and storms displace homeowners who cannot afford rebuilding. Insurance gaps leave many permanently homeless. Whether in cities or small towns, seniors face shrinking options. The geography differs, but the outcome is the same: instability, isolation, and lack of support. Urban seniors struggle with visibility and competition for limited resources. Rural seniors struggle with invisibility and complete absence of resources. Both populations are growing, and both are being left behind. The crisis is national, affecting communities of every size and type across America. Federal and state programs were never designed for today's scale of senior homelessness. In 2026, demand far exceeds supply. Only 1 in 4 eligible seniors receives housing assistance. Section 202 and Section 8 programs are chronically underfunded. Waiting lists often exceed 100,000 applicants in large states. Public housing units for seniors are aging. Over 60% were built before 1980 and require major repairs. Many are being demolished faster than they are replaced. Medicaid housing supports are limited. While some states offer rental assistance, coverage varies widely. Seniors moving across state lines often lose benefits. Application processes are complex. Many require multiple documents, in-person visits, and digital access. Homeless seniors struggle to complete them. Fraud and mismanagement have also reduced program effectiveness. Audits show billions in housing funds delayed or unused due to bureaucracy. Local nonprofit shelters fill some gaps, but they rely on unstable donations. Many close programs during economic downturns. The result is a fragmented system that fails the most vulnerable. Help exists on paper, but in practice, most seniors never receive it. Programs designed 30 to 40 years ago cannot handle current demand. Budget cuts have reduced capacity while the senior population has exploded. Without massive investment and reform, government programs will continue failing the elderly. The gap between need and available assistance grows wider every year, leaving hundreds of thousands of seniors without help. If current trends continue, America faces a permanent elderly homelessness crisis. By 2035, the population over 65 will exceed 78 million. Without reform, millions more will fall into housing insecurity. Researchers project that senior homelessness could double within a decade. RV encampments and vehicle villages may become permanent features of cities. Healthcare systems will face enormous strain. Homeless seniors are hospitalized at 3 times the rate of housed seniors, driving billions in emergency costs. Public safety concerns will grow. More seniors will die from exposure, illness, and untreated conditions. Life expectancy gaps will widen. Intergenerational conflict may increase as younger taxpayers fund emergency care instead of prevention. Social trust will erode. Most importantly, society will normalize suffering in old age. Retirement will no longer represent dignity, but uncertainty. This crisis is not inevitable. It is the result of policy choices, market failures, and neglect. With investment in affordable housing, healthcare reform, and income security, it can be reversed. But without action, the gray wave will continue, turning America's elders into its most forgotten population. The question is not whether we can solve this crisis, but whether we will choose to do so before an entire generation of seniors loses everything they worked for. The time to act is now, before homelessness in old age becomes the new normal. No one who worked their entire life should ever be left to survive in a parking lot. And sadly, this crisis doesn't end here. In our next video, we're exposing the laws and decisions that are making life even harder for homeless seniors. You won't want to miss it. After you watch, tell us what you think in the comments. And if you care about real stories like this, make sure you subscribe so you never miss what's coming next.